The barrage of Russian drones that entered Poland from Belarus was a chilling reminder of how easily the war in Ukraine could set Europe ablaze. Poland said it scrambled its own as well as NATO aircraft to take down some of the 19 Russian drones that entered its airspace. It marked the first such instance since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Europe is a continent already on edge. The war in Ukraine has been dragging on, Russia is militarizing, and there is uncertainty about what President Trump's commitment could be. Polish, Ukrainian, and many Western officials believe that the Russian drone barrage was intentional. Russia has denied the claim, and its ally Belarus said the drones had veered off course. But President Donald Trump, who hosted Russian President Putin at a high-stakes summit in Alaska, suggested that multiple Russian drones breaching Polish airspace could have been a mistake.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. But regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. But hopefully it's going to come to an end.
Poland's Prime Minister rejected Trump's remarks. Donald Tusk also called on Poland's allies to not pretend that nothing happened.
Nam się nie wydaje, że Rosja stoi za tą prowokacją, my to wiemy. Natomiast ja też rozumiem, że dla tych wszystkich, którzy chcieliby jakiejś normalizacji, stabilizacji, jakiejś polityki porozumienia z dzisiejszą Rosją, to ta sytuacja jest bardzo niewygodna, no bo jeśli dzieje się to, co się stało na polskim niebie w nocy 10 września, no to trudno udawać, że nic się nie stało. I mam nadzieję, że nikt z naszych sojuszników nie będzie udawał, że nic się nie stało, bo się stało.
NATO has said it was investigating whether the Russian drones were deliberately sent into Poland. But Mark Rutte, the Secretary General, said Russia's intentions were besides the point.
Whether it was intentionally or not, it is absolutely reckless. It is absolutely dangerous. But as I said, the full assessment is ongoing. And to Putin, I mean, my message is clear. Stop the war in Ukraine. Stop the escalating war, which he is now basically mounting on innocent civilians and civilian infrastructure. Stop violating allied airspace and know that we stand ready, that we are vigilant and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
The drone barrage came days after 26 nations pledged to provide post-war security guarantees to Ukraine, including an international force on land and sea and in the air. So it could be Russia's warning to European countries considering sending troops to Ukraine as some sort of a security assurance in a peace deal, something that Moscow has consistently opposed. Russia is aware that the Trump administration is conducting a review of American troops abroad, and the expectation is that thousands will be pulled out of Europe. That is why countries that are geographically close to Russia have dramatically increased their military spending. One such country is Poland. It is particularly engaged in a huge and expensive build-up of its own defences. After Russia's incursion, Poland turned to its NATO partners for consultations under Article 4 of the NATO agreement, designed for a member that feels under military threat. Prime Minister Donald Tusk told his parliament, "This situation brings us the closest we have been to an open conflict since World War II." Poland, which has long been mistrustful of Russia, is spending some 4.7% of its economic output on defense. This is among the highest in NATO. Nearly 10,000 American troops are currently based in Poland. When the country's president, Karol Nawrocki, met Trump at the White House recently, the American president said that not only would his troops remain in Poland, but we'll put some more if they want. In the wake of Russia's drone incursion into Poland, NATO allies have taken steps to bolster defences on Europe's eastern flank, touted the prospect of further economic sanctions, and convened an emergency UN Security Council meeting. Analysts, however, have suggested that only a robust political and military response will be enough to deter Putin. Is it time for NATO to rethink its defensive posture and the kind of assets that it deploys on Europe's eastern flank? What's clear is that the softer the West's reaction to Russia's violation of Polish airspace is, the harder the next blow will be.